crime alert to tell you about in South Memphis, where Halloween got off to a violent start. Police say 2 men were found shot to death inside a vehicle at Laclede in South Wellington. These latest homicides pushing our overall total for the year well past 260. WREG's Jarita Patterson has reaction from those impacted by this gun violence.
It is a club no family ever wants to join. If you're a member, it means you have lost a child or a loved one to violence.
I lost my son in 2011. He got shot and killed.
Last month marked 10 years since Annie Walker lost her 34-year-old son Marcus Martin to gun violence. Seeing this Sunday morning, crime scene tape, flashing blue lights, and investigators on the move brings up memories Miss Walker would rather forget.
I think about my son every day of my life. I think about him. I can't sleep. I think about him all night.
Sadly, this is what she came across when she ventured out for more than half a century.
About 52, 53 years.
Ms. Walker has lived near Laclede Avenue and South Wellington Street, where police spent hours investigating an early morning deadly double shooting.
Enough is enough. It's too much. It needs to stop. It needs to come to an end. They need to put the guns down.
My heart goes out to this woman, but we need to come up with another saying. We need to put the guns down. Y'all need to put the guns down. That's not working. And that's something that you hear. All of them it's like the most used line, even more so than stop the violence. And it's too many guns out here. And we need to put the guns that, like, listen, it's not the guns, it's the people. And they're not going to put the guns down because the guns kill, and that's what they love doing. But we got to start doing that. We got to stop saying that. It's not working. If it was making a difference, I would say fine. Things are getting worse and we keep using the same line. Let's come up with a new line.
Stop. It needs to come to an end. They need to put the guns down.
Detectives say 2 men were discovered dead inside an SUV that was eventually hauled away. But what remains are those mixed feelings of anger, frustration, and sadness additional families are now having to navigate through.
But you will never get over that feeling. That's a feeling that'll be with you until the day you die.
Neighbors say what happened here really is disturbing on many levels, in broad daylight and on a holiday, which is why those living nearby say they are desperate to find a way to stop gun violence. An undeniable epidemic within a pandemic. Reporting in South Memphis,
the violence needs to stop.
Jarita Patterson, WREG, News Channel 3.
So far, police haven't arrested anyone, but if you know anything about this case that could help detectives, call Crime Stoppers at 528-CASH. You could earn a reward of up to $2,000 if your tip leads to an arrest.
Your councilwoman's home ends with gunfire. 1 person dead, people racing for safety. This all happened along Los Animas Avenue near St. Louis Hospital. Police say 3 others are injured tonight. KPX5's Don Lynn live at the scene with the latest.
Brian, among the injured victims, police say 2 have life-threatening injuries. And 22 hours after that shooting, Los Animas Avenue still shut down. Police are still here collecting evidence. Investigators placed evidence markers next to shell casings and other important items. A crime scene technician even used a metal detector to look for casings that might be hidden under leaves or dirt.
We heard the gunshots, a bunch of them, boom, 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 and then we heard people screaming.
Linda Layton lives in an RV parked near Councilwoman Rebecca Armendariz' house.
This Gladys lives in a... She lives in a van down by the river. To quote the great Chris Farley. But she lives in an RV behind the POC councilwoman's house that got shot up during a Halloween party. How ironic is that? the privilege on full display here.
We heard the gunshots, a bunch of them, boom, 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 and then we heard people screaming.
Linda Layton lives in an RV parked near Councilwoman Rebecca Armendariz' house.
We were shocked. We actually were shocked. And at the time, I guess maybe we were all a little scared because we were hoping nobody was hurt.
Police say Councilwoman Armendariz hosted a large Halloween party in her yard. A neighbor across the street tells me about 80 people attended, most of them teenagers.
It was really surprising because she's always been like a really good neighbor. She never throws parties too, so like it was kind of unexpected.
Just before 1 o'clock this morning, police say a fight between some partygoers led to the shooting that killed one man and injured 3 others.
Most of them were running away and getting in their cars and going, but there was lingering a couple people after the police were done,
And they said what?
They said, I guess it was an older boy, from what I understood, an older boy had some kind of altercation with them.
So I'm going to assume that Armendariz, whatever her name is, she probably didn't invite no Sun people over here. This is probably on Brito party. No Britos show out on Halloween, man. God. City councilwoman. Home shot up. Has a murder on her property during Halloween. And they're interviewing the Glacier Gladys, who lives in an RV behind her house. And it could have been 100 Glacier Glider RVs behind that house. And it still that area wouldn't have 1/10 of the murder per year as the Hombritos in that neighborhood. It wouldn't have 1/100th of the murder of the Sun people that live in that neighborhood. Let that sizzle your spirit. Now, I'm not here to take up for gliders, man. But it's just wild, man, how we talk about this stuff is caused by poverty.
Investigators haven't said what the fight was over or the exact motive.
It's sad. It really is. It's sad that, people can't have, I guess, more respect for one another.
The councilwoman declined an interview with me, but said in a statement, "I'm thankful that my family and I who live on Las Animas were not hurt in this tragedy, and I pray for those whose loved ones have been touched by what has occurred. In the meantime, we're giving our full cooperation to the Gilroy Police Department in this investigation. Our primary concern is for the individuals impacted and their families." Armendariz was elected to the Gilroy City Council last year, and before that, she was on the Planning Commission.
She speaks on our behalf a lot, with the council. I know that. With the Compassion Center, she's involved with that. And so she helps out a lot. So that's what really surprises me, that there was anything bad at her house.
Do we know anything about the suspects?
No, police have not released any suspect information. There's also very little information about the victims. Police would only say the person who was killed was a man, but no information about the victims who survived. We don't know if they're teenagers, no age, no names, none of that stuff at this point.
Got it. Okay. In Gilroy, that's Linda. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Cheryl Mercedes. Welcome into our webcast. We begin with a shooting at a Halloween party. Houston police are looking for the person who they believe opened fire, killing an 18-year-old and hurting 2 other teens. David Gonzalez has more on this developing story on the north side.
Ambulance 48. Gunfire erupted at a house party Sunday morning, sending teens running. Houston police say an 18-year-old woman was killed in a shooting at a home.
Good evening, I'm Cheryl Mercedes. Welcome into our webcast. We begin with a shooting at a Halloween party. Houston police are looking for the person who they believe opened fire, killing an 18-year-old and hurting 2 other teens. David Gonzalez has more on this developing story on the north side.
Ambulance 48. Gunfire erupted at a house party Sunday morning, sending teens running. Houston police say an 18-year-old woman was killed in a shooting at a home on Schleider Drive near Parker and Aldine Westfield Roads. Authorities say at least 3 others had to be taken to the hospital, including a 16-year-old boy. Police say the party was crowded with teens and young adults. One neighbor said he heard around 8 shots, but that was not uncommon in the North Houston neighborhood. Another neighbor said he saw partygoers flee from the home. Police say a gun was found in a nearby ditch, but
Okay, so 2 things here. Yes, the trash is haphazardly strewn along the street. And I noticed that with Hombritos. However, it's in bags. So that was the first sign that it was Hombritos, because they got it half right. The stuff would be in bags, but it'd be all over the street. The second thing that signaled to me that was a red flag that this was Hombritos, these Corona, these Modelo cases. All this Modelo in Corona. That's Hombritos, man. So this is Hombrito area, man. Turning up on Halloween, man. On Las Halloween. Out here doing it. And that's one thing that I don't talk about a lot, because it pales in comparison to the Sun crime. But Hombritos is running second. They got second place locked down. I mean, they're getting smoked by Sun people. But if you want to just focus on second place, who's doing the largest percent of the 20%? Because, 13 does 80. We all know that here. Everywhere else says 1350. We know it's 1380. 13% of the population does 80% of the murder in this country. However, out of that other 20%, Hombritos do the lion's share of that other 20%. And it's been on huge display this Halloween weekend.
one neighbor said he heard around 8 shots, but that was not uncommon in the North Houston neighborhood. Another neighbor said he saw partygoers flee from the home. Police say a gun was found in a nearby ditch, but it's unclear if it was linked to the shooting. No arrests have been made, and the identities of the victims are unknown at this time. In Houston, David Gonzalez, KHOU 11 News.
2 people are dead. Several more are wounded in a shooting at a Halloween party in Joliet Township. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jackie Bang.
And I'm Tamon Bradley. WGN's Jewel Hillary joins us live with details. Jewel, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Tamon. Good evening, Jackie. Authorities with the Will County Sheriff's Office are still on the scene and need the public's help looking for the shooters from this early morning Halloween party. One person that we spoke to says that the majority of the party was filled with teenagers. Sadly, as you mentioned, several people were shot and 2 people were killed.
All right, 10-4. We got medics pulling up now.
The crime scene tape along Grinton Street near Jackson Avenue canvasses the area as Will County Sheriff's investigators figure out why a Halloween party with an estimated 200 people went from fun to tragic. The multiple gunshots were fired near a DJ booth in the backyard of a home at 1018 East Jackson Street.
You notice, again, in this suburb of Chicago, it's Hombritos. Hombritos turned up this weekend. They are going to be firmly in second place. I mean, they have no shot to catch Sun people. We're like so far ahead. Like, if the season, you know how, like on SportsCenter, if the season ended today, if the season ended today, we would win by a mile, a country mile. However, Hombritos and Glacier Gliders, they somewhat in the same range. But this Halloween weekend, I think Hombritos have forged ahead into a lead that they won't relinquish it for the rest of the year.
The multiple gunshots were fired near a DJ booth in the backyard of a home at 1018 East Jackson Street.
South 24, I have one gunshot, one to he's still breathing.
We're told the party started late Saturday night. Just after 12:30 Sunday morning, a sergeant with the Will County Sheriff's Office heard 10 to 12 shots fired. Once arriving to the area, the sergeant witnessed over 100 people fleeing east on Jackson Street.
Even when we ran, we were just getting bombarded everywhere. Like, everyone was getting stepped on.
25-year-old Adolfo Sandoval and his girlfriend were a part of that crowd running for their lives.
And all of a sudden, we all just started running, throwing ourselves to the floor. I threw my girlfriend to the floor, and I fell like right next to her.
More than a dozen people were hit by the gunfire. 2 people were killed and 4 others were rushed to local hospitals with life-threatening injuries. Victims were found in the backyard and nearby homes. Witnesses told detectives there were 2 shooters who fired weapons from an elevated position on a porch looking down over the crowd.
I heard a lot of shots, but I didn't thought it was real until I seen like a lot of cops.
Ricardo Asensio was playing a video game nearby when the shots caught his attention. He then took a look at Snapchat for more information.
I looked on that, and this was like a lot of people were posting it that they got shot up.
Authorities need your help looking for the suspects. If you were at this party or have any information, including video, that you can pass along to officials with the Will County Sheriff's Office, you need to contact them immediately. You can also leave an anonymous tip. We do have that contact information on our website, WGNTV.com. Reporting live from Joliet Township, I'm Jewel Hillary, WGN News.
A Halloween party turned deadly in Carmichael early this morning. Just before 1 a.m., the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office received a call about a party at a business on Palm Avenue. Deputies arrived to find 7 people shot. 2 of them died from their injuries. The 5 people in the hospital are in serious but stable condition. Investigators have not released information on the shooter. ABC 10 photojournalist Xavier Uriarte spoke with community activist Barry Axios about what he feels needs to change.
Chaotic situation. Everything was going well for hours, and then just in a moment of minutes, everything turned tragically. And this particular was a Halloween get-together. It started inside, and it spilled outside. And one of my young people were telling me that they just heard a few shots inside, and then everything went from 0 to 100.
Now, this brother, he might as well quit. There's no solution to this stuff. There's no solution to this. None. If you get a group of POCs together, this is what happens. So, bruh, man, like, I ain't hating on your hustle, man. All I'm saying is, like, if you want to make a difference in the world, you might want to pick a different occupation, brother, because you can't change this.
But yeah, it's a little unnerving that this is happening again. Yeah, there's more and more crime, I think, going on. So it's, you know, am I going to be a victim? Is my family going to be a victim?
A person want to shoot someone in a packed venue with multiple innocent bystanders. We're right behind one of the sheriff offices. The mindset of some of our individuals that do these things and what it sets off, to me, is troubling, but it speaks more to where we're at in society. We're not in a quote-unquote area that gun violence is supposed to happen. Where that's...
You heard what he said? A packed, so you got hundreds of witnesses in a relatively safe area behind a police station. Brother, you're making my case for yourself. I truly believe this brother wants to make a difference, man. He would make more of a difference collecting trash from off the riverbank. That would make more of a difference in the world than what he's doing. There's nothing he can do to stop this. Listen.
A person want to shoot someone in a packed venue with multiple innocent bystanders. We're right behind one of the sheriff offices. The mindset of some of our individuals that do these things and what it sets off, to me, is troubling, but it speaks more to where we're at in society. We're not in a quote-unquote area that gun violence is supposed to happen, where it's surging. Gun violence is everywhere. It's spread out from the neighborhoods to the suburb areas, with more guns being on the streets. As I've said numerous times, you can find a gun before some folks could find a job or opportunity.
That's not true, bro. I've done so many videos on all these places hiring. Yeah, now if you want a job that's not going to require you to have any experience and pay you a gazillion dollars, yeah, you can't find that. But these knuckleheads with very limited work experience that are only, capable of doing entry-level jobs in the service industry or in manual labor or, Department of Public Works or, construction, these people are given signing bonuses. If you want to work at Walmart or you want to work at Target or Wendy's, they'll give you a signing bonus. You want to work at McDonald's, they're paying $15 an hour to flip burgers. Everywhere. Wherever you see McDonald's, you go in there and they will, thank God, they'll tackle you. They won't let you out. They'll start you that same day. They'll go get you a uniform and start you that same day. The disingenuousness of some of these activists is what ticks me off. I think this brother's a good guy, but I think he knows he's lying. He knows what's going on now. They're giving you signing bonuses to start at Target. $1,000 signing bonus to start at Walmart. Because it's so hard to find employees now because Biden's paying everybody to stay home. And everybody got those PPP loans, them fraudulent PPP loans. If you want a job, you can find a job. Easy, way easier than you can find a gun.
With more guns being on the streets, as I've said numerous times, you can find a gun before some folks could find a job or opportunity. Here are the repercussions. Here are the actions of being inactive in a lot of these people's lives.
My prayers go out to the victims' families and pray for a resolution.
And that wasn't the only Halloween party shooting. 3 people are hurt after a shooting in Stockton around 11:30 last night. It happened at East Vine Street and North D Street. Right now, we are still working on getting information for you about the shooter. A machete attack last night in downtown Sacramento. It happened near H and 9th Streets. This morning, the attacker was arrested on an assault charge. The victim is recovering in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police believe the 2 men knew each other. A shooting in North Sacramento, this one near the Sure Stay Plus Hotel on Burkett Drive. It happened around 2:20 this morning. No arrests have been made yet. The victim is in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
A first look tonight at one of 2 people killed at a massive Sacramento Halloween party that ended in chaos. Terrence Long died after gunfire broke out at that big event. Hundreds of people were there. Several others were hurt. Now a search tonight for the shooter, still on the run. You're watching the CBS 13 News at 10. I'm Marley Ginter. Our news also streaming live on CBSN Sacramento. CBS 13's Valina Jones is joining us live from the scene. She just talked with the victim's mom moments ago. Valina?
Yeah, his mother tells me her whole family is devastated tonight and that her son was 32 and lived right here in Sacramento. We're hearing from her and friends tonight. Witnesses tell me they saw multiple people shooting and felt like that shooting lasted for at least 15 minutes. I'm told this party was a diverse crowd with both young and older people and was advertised as having security. But now we know it turned deadly.
2 things right here. Diverse crowd. If it's a diverse crowd, I'm not going. I'm only going if I'm one of the very few Sun people there. Second of all, older and younger, listen, you never want to party with young POCs, man. You just don't want to do it, man. Young hombritos and young Sun teens, they have no regard. Now, we know this brother had nothing to do with it. No one cared. He was not the target. And the other person who got killed probably wasn't. They don't care. They shoot everything in the radius now. That's why we have almost 700 mass shootings this year. 700. During the Trump administration, we had like 300, 400 a year. We're pushing 700 in 1 year. Mass shootings, 90% of them in the stand or from citizens of the stand. This brother made some crucial mistakes, man, that is sad that he paid for with his life, man. But you don't hang around. Diversity is not our strength. And being around young people is just not smart. In a party club environment, it's bad enough being with them on the bus or the train.
I'm told this party was a diverse crowd with both young and older people and was advertised as having security, but now we know it turned deadly.
I'll advise there's a shooting. There are at least 3 people who are on the floor.
Dispatch audio shows a snapshot of the chaos after a shooting erupted at the Royal Castle Banquet Hall.
The subject that was shot in the back.
The shooting just would never stop. It just kept going. And it was everywhere. It was like when it stopped inside.
Who is this woman? Someone find me this woman, man. You need to kidnap this woman and take her to NIH and have tests done on her. We need to extract some DNA from her so we can get this tear duct glitch. Fix this tear duct glitch that these sisters got. Because she has tears in both eyes. We need to study this woman, man. Funds. We need funds, man. Hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that Super Chat. So we can get some funds to study this woman and find out what makes her tick. Find out how she was able to beat the odds. You can isolate her genes. You need to isolate her genes, man. Wow. Tears on a sister after a brutal public massacre. That's rarer than seeing a cardinal or an oriole or something in real life, or a spotted owl. Wow.
The shooting just would never stop. It just kept going. And it was everywhere. It was like when it stopped inside, you could hear bullets outside. So.
Missy Tolbert was bartending at the Halloween party when she heard a string of gunshots. The shooting killing 2 people and injuring 5 others.
There's people holding the bathrooms doors closed because they're trying to hide.
It's really chaotic here. We have to clear a building.
Investigators say more than 50 shots were fired. The event, filled with hundreds of people, was promoted on social media, featuring Oakland rapper All Black.
Okay, bro. Like right here, man, I wouldn't have went nowhere near this place, man. I wouldn't even have driven past this place because the way they shoot, you could be driving past and the bullet find you just for being stupid. Nah, man. Nah, man. Nah. You just can't do this nowadays, man. Now, you can look at it like, well, there were 100 people there and hundreds of people didn't get shot. But think about the terror, like the woman said. People they're shooting for 15 minutes. And I don't know if y'all been around no mass shootings or nothing like that. Or active shooter events, man. In the hood. I'm not talking about the ones CNN cover 4 times a year. When it's a glidey. I'm talking about sunmen, mad and don't care. And they ain't getting caught. No, they ain't getting caught. No, the chances is very slim that they're going to get caught. No, if they do get caught, they're going to get an ankle monitor and a 2023 court date. So you're dealing with some entitled shooters. Some emboldened shooters. It's different, man. 15 minutes of just shooting? People barricaded in bathrooms, crouching down, getting trampled, stomped. Yeah, hundreds of people ain't get shot, but hundreds of people got traumatized, Jack.
The event, filled with hundreds of people, was promoted on social media, featuring Oakland rapper All Black, and located just yards away from a Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. Missy left stunned after her friend Terrence Long died at the scene.
Terrence was here helping us set up. He's a nice guy, like a very, very nice guy, like the funny, cool guy.
So when are we going to start really taking this serious?
Community activist Barry Axios is in communication with multiple witnesses, and he believes the shooting wasn't random.
From what I'm gathering is a person was targeted. Everything became a domino effect. Now you're having bullets flying all over the place.
A Halloween party turned deadly, leaving friends just out to celebrate, now in mourning.
We wanted to have fun and enjoy the holiday, and dance and drink and live. And now people aren't living.
Now, witnesses tell me they're also upset with how long it took first responders to get to the scene after those first shots were fired. They estimate that was about 15 minutes, and so we asked the sheriff's office about that. They tell me it took them 3 minutes to get here to the scene after that first 911 call. My family and I are devastated. We are also praying for the other family who lost a loved one from this senseless killing. My son never did any harm to anybody, and he didn't deserve to die like this. His mother tells me he was caught in the crossfire of this deadly shooting. The suspect's still on the loose tonight. Police say they do not have any suspect's description or any information about how many shooters may have been involved.
Oh, Valina, you can definitely feel that mother's pain through her words. What a chaotic scene. Had to have been absolutely frightening. Thank you for that live report.
In a developing story, 1 person is dead and 9 are injured after a fatal Halloween party in Texarkana today. It happened early this morning at Octavia's Event Center. A shooting broke out and 1 person is now in custody. Shortly after,
Keontae McElroy turned himself in once he learned about the warrant issued for his arrest.
Keontae McElroy. That's the shooter. Keontae McElroy. Give me an ID on that.
And once he learned about the warrant issued shortly after, Keontae McElroy turned himself in once he learned about the warrant issued for his arrest. He's currently charged with aggravated assault, but a mugshot and information regarding motive have not been released yet. Police say additional charges will be filed tomorrow. The condition of the 9 other victims appear to be non-life threatening.